So we'll come into that Sphinx pose again, where we started with the rising and falling of the upper back. But this time we're gonna make a triangle with the hands. So the hands were like this before, kind of bring them together like this. Perfect. So we're still in Sphinx. Instead of allowing the head and neck and shoulders to just relax and disengage, start from a neutral position. And this time we're going to press into the hands and lift the elbows up off the mat. Nice. Doesn't have to be so much. We're just gonna take a couple pulses here. Just putting strength into our hands. We've kind of already explored the elbows, but this time we're gonna really concentrate on lifting the elbows and trying to lift by pushing into the bottom part of our hands, the fleshy part. Nice. Just take one more of those. And come back down. We'll extend the right arm. Push yourself with your left arm all the way onto the back. If you want to use the strap again, you can for this dead bug exercise, but if you feel like you have that cue, no need for it. So let's cover the knees above the hips. Arms can reach up towards the ceiling and extend the left arm away from the right foot. Pressing the low back into the mat, come back up to center. Opposite side, switch it out. Making sure you're pressing the low back in all the time. One more time each side at your own pace. Nice. And we'll come back up. Extend the arms and legs away from each other, allowing the core to soften and relax. And then bend the left foot, or bend the left knee and plant the foot and allow that to push you back onto your mat. So now we're in a forearm plank. If it's more comfortable for you, you can take that triangle shape with the hands. That's how I like to do this pose. But from here in our low plank, you're just gonna walk your toes up towards your elbows to come into dolphin. And this is our kickoff point to come into headstand. But before we do that, that's gonna be the next round. We're just gonna take a couple of dolphin push-ups. So you're not really even pushing with your arms so much as shifting your head and your weight over your hands. So you're just gonna shift forward a couple of times. Shaking is good. And then when you've had enough, you can just bring your knees down and come into a child's pose. And when we're doing a lot of stuff with the arms here, I really like to, instead of having my arms straight out, I like to create kind of a diamond shape with my arms. That just gives it a lot more of a relaxing sensation in this pose. Just take a couple deep breaths. So from Balasana, coming up into tabletop, we'll tuck the toes, hover the knees again just above the mat, and then send the hips back and straighten the knees to come into down dog. Pedal out if you like, and then step, walk, or jump up into a forward fold. We'll rise up to Tadasana. We'll press the hands into the low back again. So bring the hands to the low back and press as if you were pressing into the strap on the floor. And just a consistent press this time, no pulses. Pulling the navel towards the spine. And release. Sweep the arms up overhead and we'll dive forward into a forward fold. And this time in our forward fold, we'll take our peace fingers and grab them to the big toes. Allow the head and neck to really relax here. But what you're gonna do is actually tug on your toes with your arms to really fire up the biceps and the shoulders. So allow the elbows to splay out to the sides, allowing the head and neck to relax as much as possible. Firing up the shoulders and the upper back in a way that we haven't quite done yet. Deep breaths here as much as you can. I know it's kind of a bind position, so it's harder to get a deep breath. Release the toes. And then you can extend your legs behind you to come into a high plank. And we're just gonna hang out here and think about our life choices. What flavor of ice cream would you have if you could have ice cream right now? If this is not comfortable for you and you want to come down to your forearms, by all means, please do. And of course, you're welcome to come down to your knees, but we're just trying to build some core strength here, build some more shoulder strength. And I want to challenge you for these last couple seconds that we're holding plank to push the floor away and do what we were doing in the very beginning from Sphinx, allowing the shoulders and upper back to round, coming into the top of a push-up. And then wave down, coming back onto the belly. Nice job. And we'll come back into our Sphinx pose. So elbows are going to come under the shoulders. Create that triangle with the hands. And so the first 2 times that we did this, the first one we allowed the upper back to completely disengage, and the second time we lifted the elbows. This time we're going to combine those 2. So first allow the upper back to soften, totally disengage, and then press into the elbows, lifting the upper back, then press into the hands, lifting the elbows. Perfect. We'll come back down. Try that again. Soften, disengage the upper back, press into the elbows to rise, press into the hands to lift the elbows. Nice. Come back down to neutral. One more time in your own time. Trying to make it one fluid movement. Awesome. Then we'll extend the left arm forward. Right arm pushes you all the way over onto your back. And this is, I swear, the last time we're going to do this dead bug exercise. So knees hover above the hips, arms come up, reaching towards the ceiling, and extend opposite foot away from opposite arm, pressing the low back into the floor, coming back up to center. Other side, coming back up to center. One more time on each side at your own pace. If I was coming over, would I be able to tug that strap from under your back? Try to make sure it's pressing into the mat. All right, so this is where we will take a moment just for observation after we do our dolphin push-ups. So you'll have your hands either in triangle or they can be next to each other, whichever is most comfortable. Tuck your toes and lift the knees, and then just lift the hips up, coming into a low plank, and then you'll step the feet forward to come into dolphin. So we'll do this one together first. Just do a couple of these dolphin push-ups again. So shifting the weight forward a couple of times. And this is your first option. You're always welcome to do this. This is definitely building strength. And then come back down, bring your knees down. You can come into Balasana for a moment. I like to have my elbows split out, just allowing the shoulders to relax here. Deep breath. And then let's take a minute to talk about headstand, because that is where we have gotten to. How very exciting. So it's the same setup as dolphin, so exactly what we just did. And like we talked about in the beginning, it's not about the destination, right? So we're not trying to necessarily get there and stay in headstand. We just want to try to feel it. We've done a lot of core engagement, a lot of shoulder and upper body engagement. So those things need to be pressing into the floor. The core really needs to activate to get you up into headstand. So my goal is for you to just feel a second. Just like feel that moment where you think you could probably stay in headstand, but then just come right back out, okay? So this is what you're going to do, and I will come and spot you, so don't join me at this point yet. We'll come into our plank, step into dolphin. You're really gonna press into the elbows and the hands. You're gonna roll into the crown of the head and bring the feet as close as possible. And then you'll just take a couple little kicks. Just noticing if you feel that moment of engagement. And then when you've had enough, just come down and relax in Balasana. So, we've done a lot of strengthening for everything. I just want you to keep in mind when we're in this pose, press into the hands, press into the elbows. That's going to protect your head and neck. Okay. Does either of you want to try?
You try. I'm gonna go lip roll. I'm covered in wool. Shades.
You want to try?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yep, so we'll come into this diamond shape first. Perfect. All right, and you're in plank, so you're gonna walk your feet up towards your elbows. Perfect. So you're gonna press into your elbows, press into your hands, roll into the crown of your head, and then just take a couple little kicks. Nice, nice. Yep, engage the core, perfect. Nice. You're hovering there. I think I can tell that you're feeling it. Nice. Good, good. Nice. That one seemed like a good one. Oof. And then just come into Balasana and relax.